Hello viewers, we're about to run the first bit of Q353, Manifest Cumberland to Willard. That's right, we're on Sandpatch Grade. And why are we on Sandpatch Grade, you ask? Well, because viewer Andy needed a little bit of help, just getting going and making sure it gets up the hill. So, let's go through locomotive setup. Let's do the important things first. Let's open the window. Why? Because it makes it sound better. Then we turn on banking comm by pressing the DISP button on the radios. That's now turned on. Now what banking comm does, it pretends there's a crew in your rear locos. So down the back of your train down here, there's some locos in the back. And in this one, there would be a crew member. An invisible crew member. But anyway, back up the front here, it basically copies any commands that you do on the power handle and on the reverser into that loco that's down the back there. Takes care of the other setup by itself. Doesn't copy the brakes. And the reason they do that, it's pretending you've got a second crew because the game doesn't support DPU or distributed power units. So it's just like calling out on the radio, "Hey Joe, struggling a little on the hill mate, can you notch up to 4 so we can keep it on going?" Thanks buddy. Alright, so let's continue our setup. Let's next up cut in the brakes. So 1 for air brake on the main display, F3 to cut in, F4 to set it to lead, so you can see that these have both changed now, cut in and lead, F6 to save our changes, and F8 to exit. So basically it's the button that corresponds with the one you can see on the screen. Don't you wish they were nice modern touchscreens or something? Anyway, let's start our brakes releasing because this train's not going to go anywhere for a little while because it's got to pump up. So our equalising reservoir is already pumping away and it's showing on the gauge. That'll come up to about 80 pounds. Brake pressure on our loco in the brake pipe is also coming up to about, there we go, 89 pounds. These ones run at 89 pounds or 90 or whatever it is. And the main is at 131. It's still climbing. It'll sit around 133, 134 or so, somewhere around there. Maybe a little bit more sometimes. And the rear of the train is starting to pump up, so eventually it'll match this pressure of 89, 90 pounds. Alright, now, next part of the setup. I'm going to jump out of the chair to do this, because it's a little bit hard if you can't see the switches. So I've just C for crouch down, and we're checking that the control switch is on. Gen field, we need to turn that on, and engine run should already be on. Now, there's a couple more things that I like to do, because you see this person sitting over here. They're really lazy, they never do any bloody work. So I like to be mean to them, and I open their window, and I turn on their heater. Because, you know, it's just sort of being friendly. They don't like doing any work, so I make the top cold and their bottom hot. All good. Now, we're at 67 on the rear, so those brakes will be releasing by now, so we can actually start powering. So let's get our reverser into forward. And let's start notching. There we go, we're starting to build some power up. You can tell the brakes are releasing because it's slowly rolling back a little there. We're building up power now and we will start moving. Dispatch, this is engineer Q53 departing Cumberland. Now on this screen it still says end of train stop, but I kind of doubt that since we've reached 5 miles an hour in the front. So let's quickly flick down the back using the external camera and have a look. Well, pretty much looks like they're moving to me. So let's just flop up over the top. Let's see if we can see what the controls in here are doing. So you notice how the reverser is in forward and it's got a notch on and it's powering. So you can see it's powering here and it's in notch 3. So same as us up the front. So it's just copied the stuff with banking comm. Let's close the windows so no hobos get in. And I think we've picked up some stuff from Creators Club. Seem to have a PMR loco there. And I think this might be maybe Sparmy's boxcar, I think, from Spring Rail. Kind of cool. Alright. Well, that's about it for this tutorial anyway. I'm just going to notch down a little now because we don't want to exceed the speed limit. In fact, let's just pop back to that loco down there. And let's just have a quick look because we should be able to look in the window and it should have copied that and go, yep, look at that, it's sitting in idle and it's not powering now, just like we are up at the front. So there you go, that's banking comm, and that's the setup for these locomotives. So this helps you get up the hill. If you don't turn on banking comm, only the front locos in your consist, so in this case 2 of them, will actually essentially create power and run to operate the train. Now, in dry running, you might actually get up the hill with only 2. It'd be a struggle, but you might do it. If it's the slightest bit slippery, so raining, snow, those sort of things, you haven't got a chance. And you'll probably find you'll come to rest around the point of that stub siding, about 1/3 of the way up the hill. That's where most people seem to get stuck. So, now you know how to set them up. I hope you enjoy your run up the hill. Ooh, I forgot something. Naughty me. I'll have to go and have a meeting with the manager with no coffee, because I'll be getting told off. You were driving without your headlights on, sunshine. What do you think you were doing? Don't know why my manager's got a weird Scottish accent, but there you go. Anyway, that's it. All good. Hope this is helpful for you. So, see you around. Bye.